All right, welcome back. We've got a quick video for you guys today, and in this video we're going to talk about what the whales are up to. So when I say whale, you could say whale, super investor, big wig, whatever you want to say. But every quarter, these big investors have to file what's called a 13F filing, which that discloses the moves that they made throughout the quarter, what stocks they bought, what they sold, what does their portfolio look like. And so yesterday was the deadline for those filings, and so we get a little bit of insight into what the big dogs are doing. So what's Berkshire Hathaway doing? What's Bill Gates doing? What's Howard Marks doing? So there's a lot of people on this website that you can follow. The website I use is called Datarama. It's free. And so we're going to go through the most purchased stocks among these super investors and the most sold, and then we're going to look at some of these people's portfolios. So first off, when it comes to most bought, we've got Berkshire Hathaway at the top, United Health Group underneath that. United Health Group has been beaten up. Microsoft is up there, Uber, Apple, which to me, Apple's kind of surprising to see that up there. Now we don't know when they bought these or if they're still holding it. We may find that out in the next 13F filing. But it's just kind of interesting to see where's the big money going towards. What are they buying? What are they selling? And just because they're buying something or just because they're selling something, it's not the end of the world. It's not a huge signal, but it is interesting to see what these guys are doing with their money. So not a whole lot of interesting buys here. CVS, Humana, so a lot of healthcare, Starbucks, a lot of things that have been kind of beaten up, but nothing to me jumps off the page here. When it comes to purchases, you got some Amazon 4 buys. I mean, that's nothing crazy compared to what I've seen in the past. I mean, if you go back maybe a year or so ago, it was mind-boggling at how much technology was being purchased. Nvidia, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta. You were just seeing everybody buying and buying in large numbers. So this quarter so far, I haven't seen anything super that jumps off the page to me. Super interesting. When it comes to sales, you see a little bit more activity here. So you've got 17 sales for Microsoft, 16 for Meta, 16 for Alphabet, another 15 for Alphabet, Amazon with 13, some of the financials, Oracle. So you're seeing a lot of profit taking, a lot of people trimming their positions. Now again, these were all buys a year or so ago. So now people are just taking a little bit off the top. And again, you see a lot of sales, but the volume, the amount, there's nothing that drastic here. So again, nothing super that stands out, nothing crazy here, especially when we look at the super investor list. There's a handful of people I like to go to right away. You can look at Bill Ackman's portfolio. I like to look at, sometimes I look at Dan Loeb. I'll look at his portfolio. But the first guy I look at is David Tepper. He was a huge buyer of technology not that long ago. And it looks like he's been doing a little bit of trimming, right? So you can see all these positions he's recently reducing. 6% Alibaba, 10% of Amazon, 15% of Microsoft and Meta, 7% of Google, 13% of Oracle. So you can read through this, but you can see here he's making some trims on the technology stock that he loaded up, because he loaded up not that long ago. So now he's just taking a little bit of profit and maybe looking to reevaluate what's going on here. So you can look at his buys, you can look at their sales. So he added a ton of lift. He's in the Chinese stocks, some JD, ASML. So not a whole lot of buying, a lot of trimming, and then you can look at their individual portfolios. So his largest holding is Alibaba. Now this is one thing I am noticing. There's a lot of these guys that are pretty heavy in China. Alibaba, JD, K-Web, a lot of Chinese technology stocks where these super investors are getting kind of heavy in those positions. But again, he's still heavy in technology. Baba, Amazon number 2, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Oracle, Pinduoduo, AMD, and on and on. So not a whole lot of change there, just trimming. Let's see who else. I like to look at, the next guy I look at is Howard Marks. He doesn't do anything crazy. There's a lot of tickers on here that he's in for the dividend. He's more of a conservative, defensive investor. So when I see him do something like buying a lot of Valet, that's interesting to me. I like that stock. He's been adding to some JD, but again, it's only 1% of his portfolio. So it looks like, oh, he had a 27% increase, but it's really not that large. He's got a very diversified portfolio with 2% in this stock, 2% here. I don't know what this big stock here that he's got at number 1, that's 30%. But to me, I just like to see what are the ads, what are the sales. So not a whole lot going on here. Wow, he's got a lot of small positions here. That's not how I do things. I couldn't keep track of all those companies. Okay, so the last guy we're going to look at here, you could look at Michael Burry, but his portfolio is only 52 million, so it's just not that interesting compared to everyone else in the scheme of things. But we're going to pull up Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, $280 billion portfolio. So let's take a look here because we know that they sold half of their Apple position. So who's number 1 in their portfolio? Is it still Apple? Is it someone else? So we can see here number 1 for the Buffett portfolio is still Apple at 30%. So they sold half of their position, but it was a huge position. So again, for them, it probably makes sense to diversify a little bit. Bank of America, American Express, Coca-Cola, sold a little bit of Chevron. He's always buying Occidental Petroleum. He added Chubb Limited. I'm not too sure what they do. He also added Sirius XM Radio. Let's just go click on the buys. The one new purchase that he bought was Ulta and Helco Corp. So Ulta Beauty's kind of interesting. That's a stock I've been just kind of looking at. I just don't know anything about the business. I don't know how much of a moat they have, but I've watched the stock. I've seen the valuation. Doesn't seem crazy. People are always going to be buying makeup. See the stores all over the place. So there could be something to look at there. The problem with these 13F filings is by the time we see it, the market's already reflected, oh my gosh, Warren Buffett took a position. Today, I think Ulta Beauty was up 14, 15, excuse me, percent. So not a whole lot going on here for Buffett on the purchases. A lot of trimming. Looks like he got out completely at Snowflake. That's kind of interesting. Got out of Paramount. I think that was a loss he took there. And just a little bit of trimming. Capital One sold a decent amount. T-Mobile. So again, I don't make any moves based on what these people are doing, but it's just interesting to see the vibe. Looks like there's not a whole lot going on here this quarter, just a little bit of profit taking, a little bit of rebalancing. But a few quarters ago, it was very interesting to see the 13Fs because people were loading up in tech. And so that told me that there's probably a little bit more room to go. Now that we're seeing some trimming, wouldn't surprise me if we see some flatness. But you never know. Maybe they reload in this quarter, and we'll see that in the next 13F filing that, oh man, they're all back into NVIDIA. I have seen a little bit of trimming in NVIDIA. That's the other one I need to find real quick. What's it called? I always look for, he's got a weird name on here. Oh, come on. Need to find it. Where's he at? Oh, don't tell me. So I normally look for Paul Tudor Jones. Maybe he's not in here. And then the other one I look for is... Oh, come on. Oh, that's a bummer. So there's a few traders that are very active. Paul Tudor Jones, and I can't believe I'm spacing on his name right now. So that's a bummer. I couldn't pull it up in this video. But anyways, I'll look for it. I'll find it. And in tomorrow's stock market update, we'll talk about it more. So I lost my train of thought here. So anyways, that's all I got for this video. Nothing too crazy. There were some buys on Amazon, some sells on Amazon. Out of the big tech names, the big seven, I think Amazon and Google are the best buys right now. Not financial advice. and I haven't seen a lot of buys. Have been seeing a lot of trimming when it comes to Google, so that's interesting. I wonder if people are worried about the news of the potential breakup of Google. The government's looking into breaking them up. I feel like you hear this all the time. I heard this a long time ago with Meta. They're going to break it up. They're going to rein them in. Look at the stock. So it's a lot of news. It's a lot of poking around. Google will probably have some big fine that they'll pay, and it'll be business as usual. So even if the government breaks up Google, I'm not too concerned about it because they still have great businesses. It's not like they're going to just wipe away those businesses. If they break them up into individual parts, the sum of the parts is most likely worth more than when you put them all together. So anyways, going on a Google rant here. You already know how I feel about Amazon. If you don't know, watch the video I posted over the weekend. And that's all I got for you guys in this video. We will see you tomorrow for a stock market update. Been a hot week this week in the market, so I can't wait to break it down for you. Anyways, I'm out of here. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.